apart. So let's take it apart. This is as far as it usually comes apart. It can be further apart than this, but we'll deal with that after we assemble it from this stage. From this stage, actually let me focus out a little further so you can see a little more of it. At this stage, it's not entirely apart, but it won't come further apart without actually pushing pieces through each other. So let's see what we've got here. We've got this one that's marked 14 karat here. We've got 3 hanging down. 1 hangs lower than the others. Now let's deal with the middle ones. The middle one, there's a loop here. And the loop, as you can see, there's the top loop. And actually the sides, we make them a little neater, are on the loop, all ready to go down. So there are the sides, one on this side, one on that side, and they're in place ready to go down because they haven't come off the loop, and they won't come off the loop without being pressed. I'm taking a look at the camera here, trying to figure out if we get a good view of it. I think that's a pretty good view. We got that side piece on there, this side piece over it and on there, and one's on one side of the loop, one's on the other side of the loop, and they're ready to go down. So now we have to deal with, and those I'm talking about that are ready to go down are the ones with these bulges here, with the V-tip with a big bulge. So we get that back around and centered, all ready to go down. So now we're going to deal with the one that's marked 14 karat, and that's here. So it says 14 karat there. Try to get an angle where you can see it. There. And then the loop one is here, which is now upside down. And then this one has a big notch in the middle here, and that's the one that turns around, and that notch goes behind the loop band, and also behind the one that says 14 karat. So that one comes up like you're closing a book. Let me get so my fingers don't get in the way. Up like that. So it starts down here, comes toward you, and up and in front of the one marked 14 karat. Then, shoot some focus. Then the one that came up with, that has that notch, that came up, turns around clockwise like that, looking down on it. See, if I grab the right side, bring it across the front over to the left side. And I'm doing that, and now we have to keep track of where the other pieces are. Let me bring it a little closer, focus it a little closer. Alright. Now, we got this tip ready to go up on this side, that tip ready to go up on that side. So pay attention to the loop. The loop needs to get centered where the X is. So see how we formed an X with that piece and that piece? We formed an X with that clockwise twist where we brought the bottom one up. The right side came across the front, which looking down on it turned to clockwise. And now we formed the X, and the loop is sandwiched in between those two. So let's do that again. So here's the one with the big notch in the middle. I think you can see the notch there, yeah, with the big notch in the middle. The flat part's coming up. It starts turning around, and as it turns around, I'm going to get the loop one, push it so it's in between, make a sandwich of these three. So what's not working too well so far here? Well, we've got this one turned around, and just have to get that one in between them. There we go. So we're looking at it from that point of view on the side here, where the turn went like this, with that notched underneath one. It turns clockwise, and this is the one that says 14 karat here on the left. This is the one that came up and turned clockwise on the right, and in between the loop. So it made that sandwich, which formed the X on the top with the loop across the top. Now the sides, we've got to get that tip back in the middle. It's swung around. We did have that was on the loop, never got out of place, put it back into the middle, and now the sides can fold down and it's back together again. So that's the assembly from the point at which you usually, if you drop the ring, that's how far it comes apart. Let's go over that again. Although I've been through it once already, or twice. So there are the sides, go folding down. Here's undoing the clockwise twist, bringing that one to the bottom, that one with the loop, with the notch. That's the one that says 14 karat at the top, notch at the bottom, loop in the center here. So bottom one up. Let's see if I can do it so my fingers don't get in the way. Bottom one up. Okay, now it's up there. Now I grab the right side, turn it around. See how it turns around? Right side goes across the front. So now that's going to go around, turn around, cover up where it says 14 karat. But as we do it, you have to maneuver that loop one in up so it's up there too. Get the three pieces together on the top to form that X with the loop over it. From the side here, see, we have to push the loop one back in between. Wiggle it, make it neat. Get the sides arranged a little neater here. There we go. Back to here, back to the end. The loop is over here now. Push it toward the middle. Okay, now we've made the nice sandwich of the 14 karat one, the bottom one, and the loop in the middle. Fold the sides down. Okay, so that's all you should really have to deal with. But now I'll go over what you're going to do if you take it entirely apart. Assuming this will come. Some of them come apart easier than others. So the issue on that is whether these sides, which are on the loop, will or won't slide down with a little push. So now here's the loop. You can see that it's upright. Okay, here's the first side that's on it. I'll try pushing it down, and there it pushed through. So now the side is here at the bottom. All right, now let's do the same with the other loop. So then we'll have it entirely apart, assuming this will go through. All right, now you can see the loop's alone by itself. So now we have to slide the pieces back over the loop to put the sides back on it. So let's say you somehow decided to take your ring all the way apart and it got to this stage, or you handed it to a friend and they took it all the way apart, and now you're really stuck because it's really way apart. So here's how you do it. First, check the one marked 14 karat here. Make sure the bottom one, which has the notch in it, is ready to come up and turn clockwise. Now I just brought it up, turned it around clockwise. However, you can't really put it together this way because the sides and the loop aren't assembled. But that is the motion that's done later on. And if the rest of it, if the sides and the loop were done properly, this would be the right way. The one with the notch here, up, toward you and up. Then grab the right side, bring it over to the left, turning it around. That's just showing you again for practice on what's done with that. And for now, we're just making sure it's in position to do that later. Because it's a pain if this notch band winds up on the other side, then it's hard to bring it around with the other pieces in the middle, in the way. So now we're going to put the tips of the sides in the finished order, which is this. The wrong order would be this. You put the tip that has the tighter notch, V-notch, over the looser one. And it'll settle into it like that. That's the finished order of the two sides. So we're stacking them in that order. Now we're going to take them off that stack. There's only two of them, but we're going to take them off the stack in the order they come off it, which is the tighter notch first, looser notch second. And in each case, we're going to draw it over the loop backwards. Backwards meaning if you imagine that the tip is pointed that way, it's going to go the opposite way. So here's the loop. I'm bringing it up behind and going to draw this over it backwards like that. Okay, that one drawn over the loop backwards. Now the other one drawn over the loop backwards. And you got to kind of look for a angle where it goes through without without too much difficulty. And this is the reason why most of the rings won't ever be taken apart, is because they don't really fit through there. And it perhaps even bends the ring up to force that over. But now we're back to the stage where we've got the loop there, and we have the sides back on the loop, ready to go down into the finished position. I don't know if you can see it very well. We got this side ready to go down here, that side ready to go down on this side. So we do have the loop with the sides stacked on it. I think that's a better angle. That side, on the loop. So now we find the one, try not to disturb those, leave those in that order. Okay, so I kind of hold on to that. Find the one marked 14 karat, which is here. There, you can read it. Find the one that's notched, which is this one, which is kind of in position. We just need to rotate it clockwise. But you can see the shape of that. The notch is there. So the notch toward the top, what's going to be the top of the ring, spin it around clockwise. Get the loop one in there. You can see the loop one's up high. You got to push it down a little bit. Let's look at it from the side here. Get that loop one in the middle. Well, actually, let's do this again. There's the one marked 14 karat. Here's the one with the notch. Bottom one up. Grab it on the right side, bring it across over the left side. Sandwich in this loop one, which is going pretty well this time. It's out right over here. Got to push that into the middle, so it's in between. All right. Now we've got that sandwich made there of the three pieces. The top has the X and with the loop over it, and the sides are all in place, ready to go down. And in this case, it looks like we're able to get those sides off the loop and back on the loop without bending them, which is good. A lot of rings, they'll get bent. So you don't really want to force it over, and probably don't want to deal with that section of the assembly at all. But I want to include it on the video in case your ring is really out of order and those pieces aren't on the loop anymore. So that's the assembly of this. It's difficult for those that still don't get it and want me to go over it once more. I will just include it on here, but we're really done at this point. In case this gets a better view than the other ones, I'll do it once more. Not from the all the way apart position, but from, like you dropped it on the table. So you pick up the one that's marked 14 karat, and you look for the organization. First of all, at the bottom, here's the one that's going to be brought up and turned clockwise. That's this one. The middle ones hopefully are not out of order, so we'll just try bringing it up. Bring it up. Grab the right side. Bring it across the front, turning it around. Pay attention to where the loop is. The loop is here. So we'll push the loop in there as well. Get that up. So we've got the three of them. Now notice the tip here is out. We're going to swing that around. But first let's make the sandwich of the three. Get the loop one in between the other two. Yeah, that worked good. This one's all ready to go down. All we got to do is get that tip in, and it'll be all done. Fold it down. So we'll swing that around. Probably have to let things loosen up a bit to get that tip in there. Come on. Okay. And it's together. It's a really tough puzzle. Hope you can manage it. Good luck.